Okay, well, thanks again for joining us, everybody. We'll go ahead and get started here. Thanks for joining us on this rainy, at least where I'm at, day in March. We're going to be talking about social media today with our Boost social media coach, Emily Stokel. We're going to be talking about reflecting with insights. So thanks again for joining us. Just a couple of housekeeping things. If you have questions you want to ask during the presentation, you can just type them into the chat box and I can kind of be a facilitator of questions as they come in. Otherwise, if you have questions that you want to kind of chat about more broadly, we'll have some time at the end that we can have discussion time. And I think that's all I wanted to talk about. So I will pass it off to Emily Stokel to talk to us about insights.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining. I'm just going to share my screen really quickly so you can see my slides. All right, give me a thumbs up if you can see that. Awesome. Okay, so today we're talking about insights, let's see. I want to present. There we go. So today we're talking about insights both for Facebook and Instagram and how to use them to your advantage to create better content. And like Jake said, questions are welcome at any time. Flag me down. He'll probably be watching the chat and the Q&A. And then we are also recording this so you can watch it back afterwards if you need a closer look at the slides. Okay, so first, let's start with how to access your Facebook Insights. So this is a screenshot of what your Facebook page looks like if you are on your business profile page. Insights is over here on the left-hand side, and I've got this little red box around the icon that will take you to the Insights page. On Instagram, you're probably going to be using it on your phone. And so on your phone, you tap the menu button that's right up here at the top when you're on your profile. And then again, you select Insights right there. So what do the different insights mean? There's tons of different insights that are available, but I'm just going to walk you through some of the ones that are most common and probably most useful for you. So on Facebook, page views are the number of times your profile page has been viewed by anyone. This could be followers or not followers. It's just how many times people have seen the page. Page likes is when someone likes your business profile page, which basically means they want to support your page, they want to see your future content. Post reach is the number of users who saw a specific Facebook post. So they didn't necessarily come to your profile, they saw that specific post, whether they follow you or not. So someone who doesn't follow you, who sees your post, might see it because someone else shared it. For example, post engagement. Engagement is a social media word used for any action someone takes on your Facebook post. So a like, a comment, a share, those are all engagement metrics. It can also include, checking in to your business location or tagging you in a post. Those are all ways that Facebook will register engagement with the post. And engagement is a great sign that people are liking the content, paying close attention to it, and engaging with it in some way. So how do we drill down into our Facebook Insights? So here we are on Facebook. We've clicked that Insights button that was on the left-hand side, and now we're on the Page Insights field. So what comes up, if you scroll down to about mid-page, you see your 5 most recent posts, and then you can hit see all posts so you can keep scrolling backwards in it as you go. But it will show you your reach, which, like I said, that is how many people saw that specific post. And then it will also show you your engagement. So how many people took an action on that post, be it a like, a comment, a share, etc. So you can see those couple of metrics for everything. It even gives you, if you look closely at the color coding, kind of a little bit more detail into what that engagement was. So was it clicking on a link? Was it commenting? It gives you a little kind of at a glance look, and then you can click on each individual post to see more. What this field is useful for is it just gives you a quick at a glance which posts got the most engagement from your audience. So for example, if I'm just looking at this person's Facebook page, I can see that this post here had the highest reach and the highest engagement of the 5 most recent posts. So I may go to that post as an example of doing things well and try to replicate some of the elements of that post. On Instagram, similarly, this is what some of there's lots of insights available, but this is what some of the basic ones mean. It will allow you to toggle back and forth between your insights over a 7-day period and a 30-day period. And you can choose, like I said, from a ton of different insights, but some of the most useful ones are accounts reach. So this is very similar to how Facebook treats accounts reach. It's basically who saw the post. Content interactions, so that's like what Facebook calls engagement. That means that they interacted with the content, they viewed your profile, they clicked on a link in your bio, something like that. And then you can actually see total followers as well. So that's the number of people currently following your page. So those are kind of some of the main Instagram insights that are the most useful for you. Okay, so this over here is a little screenshot of what that Instagram Insights page looks like. So like I mentioned, again, here's that toggle where you can switch between the last 7 days and the last 30 days. And then it will show you an overview of the content and your stats. If you scroll down to the middle of the page, you get your 6 most recent posts, similarly to how Facebook provides you your 5 most recent posts. And you can click on them and you can see the comments on the post, follows, which is a good indicator that someone saw your post and then they went and followed your profile. Impressions is the number of times people have seen your post. Likes, just how many likes you have on the post. Profile visits, again, this is people looking at that post and then going back to your whole profile page to take a look at it. Instagram has a saves feature, so that's how many people saved that post to refer back to it later. And then share feature, so that is where people share your post to their own Instagram story feed. So those are some of the most useful insights on Instagram, and those are all available by going to this insights feed and then going down to look at each individual post and seeing how they perform on any of these categories. So which insights are the most important? Of course, this is subjective and depends on your business a little bit, but I think in general, these are some good indicators. So on Facebook, page likes, those could be an important metric for you because people who like your page, that means they want to stick around for your future posts. They like in general what you're doing. So that's a good metric to pay attention to. Another really important one is post engagement, because the people who engage with your posts are your most committed followers. Those are the people who are going to be most likely to be your customers. So engagement, which is those likes, comments, shares, etc., that's always a good thing to pay attention to. On Instagram, of course, your followers, that's people who follow you and want to stick around. Other useful metrics could be saves. That could mean that your content was so valuable that people wanted to tuck it away and revisit it again. Or shares, which means that it was so good that they wanted to show it to their own followers. Notice that on Instagram, I don't have likes on the list. A lot of people pay very close attention to likes, but likes are a pretty quick engagement metric. People just kind of like as they're scrolling, without giving it a lot of thought. Likes are, of course, good, but comments and shares and saves are even better because they show you that those people are really interested in the content that you're putting out. So how to use those insights to improve your content? So I think the best way to do this is to look at post engagement. Those likes, those comments, those saves, those shares. What about it made that person take that action? So a good way to do this is to kind of look back through your insights, look at those posts that have high engagement, and jot down notes. What about this post caught the person's eye and made them not only just like it and keep scrolling, but stop and take an action? What did the photo look like? Was it really eye-catching? What made them stop? How can you replicate what was eye-catching about that photo in your future photos? Another thing you can look at is the caption, because maybe it was the caption that made the person stop. Did it have a really eye-catching, first couple of words in it, like a headline? Did your caption ask a question that then prompted people to make a lot of comments in return? These are things to go look at your posts with the highest amount of engagement, and again, see how you can jot down notes about what made those posts have high engagement and try to think about how you might replicate it. So if you see, for example, that one of your Instagram posts, one of the insights that was provided was that this Instagram post got you 5 new followers. Okay, so what about that post made a person want to click over to your profile page and follow you? Did the post explain something about your business and that person thought, hey, this business sounds of interest to me, so I'm going to now follow along? Did it provide some sort of value or education to them where they were like, oh yeah, this post about a gardening tip is really useful to me and in my life, and so I'm going to follow along to see what other educational content this business puts out. Follows, sorry, I gotta take a quick drink of water. Follows are a great thing to pay attention to because that tells you like what posts make people want to learn more about you, and then you can provide more information that takes them down that path. Like I mentioned, likes, those are kind of the fastest stamp of approval. A lot of people pay attention to likes, and likes are fine, but a like, can just simply mean that a photo is eye-catching, and so people liked what they saw. So pay attention to likes. If you have a post that has a lot of likes, definitely see how you can replicate that. But often I find that posts that get the most likes either have a really eye-catching photo, or it's something like funny and people are like, oh yeah, cool, I relate, LOL, so fun, I'm going to throw a quick like on that. They're not the posts necessarily that make people say, oh yeah, I want to stick around and learn more about that business. So likes are good, but don't treat likes as like the be all end all of engagement. Follows, comments, shares, things like that can be worth a little bit more to you as you're trying to build a following for your business. Okay, so how are we going to use these insights to improve our content? So if you don't know, on Instagram, for example, people have the ability to save posts. That's this little button on the bottom right-hand side of an Instagram post, and people can save them and then put them into folders so that they can like refer back to them again. So if you are looking at a post and seeing that it has a lot of saves, that might tell you that that post was really educational or inspirational for people because they want to keep looking back on it again. So if saves are something that you're trying to get more of, ask yourself, what can you teach people that's relevant to your business? What kind of questions can you answer or myths can you bust? So this was a post, for example, that I did for a vintage business, and it was defining a term that's used in vintage all the time, which is dead stock. And so I did a post explaining defining what that term meant, and lots of people saved it because it's a useful tool for them to explain that to their customers. So if there were like words, concepts, things you can teach from your business, those are posts that tend to get a lot of saves. Likewise, this is the share button, this little arrow that's on the bottom of a post. And shares are great because shares show your post to people who aren't in your following already. So you can get shares both on Facebook and on Instagram. And if you put yourself in the shoes of your customer, people share posts that they think their friends would like to see. So again, posts that add value. So, if you want to get more shares on your post, you need to think about, what would I share if I were the customer? What would I want my friends to see? I would maybe, if I'm speaking from my personal experience, I would maybe share like something that's educational, again, like this how-to. Maybe I would share like a sale that's upcoming and I might want my friends to know about it. I might share an event that's upcoming because I might want my friends to know about it. Maybe I'd share something funny because I might think my friends would find it funny too. These are things, when you're thinking about shares, think about, if I'm the customer, what kind of things do I want my friends to see? So your posts that are going to get the most shares are going to be like relatable, funny, educational, inspirational, maybe like a good quote. I might share a quote that someone shared because I might say, oh, that relates to my life. I bet that would relate to my friend's life too. So that's something that shares can tell you. So your takeaway from today basically is to analyze your insights, go on Facebook and go on Instagram, check what posts get the most page likes, post engagement, follows, likes, saves, and shares, and basically just take notes on these posts. So what about that post do you think connected with people? Was it the photo? Was it a really good caption that asked a question or had a call to action? Was the post educational or inspirational? Did lots of people share it with their friends? So go through, top page likes, top post engagement, top follows, top likes, top saves, top shares, and take notes on all those posts that are coming up in the top for each of those insights. And basically use those notes to do that again. So if you're finding that your posts that rank top all the time are your posts that have really great captions, or maybe you're finding that people are always liking the photo that have animals in them, try to repeat whatever you see is popular. So it's always a good idea to replicate your successes. So try those types of photos again. If you have a picture of a cute farm dog, post that cute farm dog more. If photos with your face in them perform well, try to keep doing that. Look through and try to see which posts get the highest engagement. Same thing with captions. So a lot of times the captions that get the most engagement are either things that inspire people to respond. So maybe you're asking a question, like even something as simple as like, what are you excited to cook this weekend? That might prompt people to reply in the caption, which increases your engagement. But in general, just look through your captions and see what captions made people respond the most. If you're a really, funny person who loves a good dad joke and you're posting those in the captions and you're getting lots of LOLs in your comments, that's great. Keep doing that. Go back and look through the captions and see what inspires people to comment back. And then again, with the educational or inspirational content, if you're seeing that something got a lot of shares or a lot of saves, ask yourself, why is that? Is it a how-to? Is it something fun and funny? Is it an event? And then try to replicate that idea as much as you can with different topics. So that is the end of the slides, and we're going to open it up to questions. Jake also has a poll that he would like to share as we're doing questions.
Thanks, Emily. That's great. I'm going to take over and share this slide. While y'all are thinking of questions you might have, I will launch a poll that just asks, just kind of an evaluation of the webinar, just asks if you learned something today and if you would recommend this webinar to a fellow market manager or vendor, if you wouldn't mind filling those out for us. And then feel free to drop any questions you might have in the chat, or if you feel comfortable, you can unmute yourself and ask. Maybe while people are thinking, I'm kind of curious. I was thinking about, you talk about, Emily, if you're, continuing with what is successful, how do you think about that in terms of not doing the same thing for every post? So is it kind of you're developing a suite of things that are successful and you're trying not to be repetitive with each post, but you're kind of adding them in, frequently enough kind of thing? So it's not homogenous, but it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think something that is really important to remember is that not every person who's following you sees every one of your posts. Something like 10% of your followers see each one of your posts typically, and that's just due to social media algorithms. So I wouldn't worry too much about being overly repetitive, because odds are, people have a lot going on, they see a lot in their feeds, that it's not something that they are too likely to notice terribly. Another thing that is just kind of like a general marketing idea is that people have to see something 7 times before they buy it. So if you think about that, like how much repetition is involved in something like that, I wouldn't be terribly cautious about being over repetitive. I mean, don't necessarily like repost exactly the same thing all the time, but if you see that a certain kind of picture or, a caption that asks a question is really very helpful to you, don't hesitate to keep trying that. If you see that after a little while it stops working, maybe switch to something else. But don't be afraid to like lean into the things that are working as long as they continue working.
Great. Julia would like to know what your opinion is on the hashtag.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember, did we do a small bites on hashtags?
I believe we did.
We did? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So we do have a small bites on hashtags, and we can, there's a YouTube page that has recordings of all of those. Hashtags are definitely a great tool for getting new people who don't follow you to engage with your posts. Hashtags are particularly useful on Instagram. On Instagram, you can use up to 30 hashtags, and I do really recommend using those 30 hashtags. And if you go and watch that webinar, you'll get some advice on how to choose what hashtags you want to use on your posts. On Facebook, too many hashtags tells Facebook that your post is spammy. So on Facebook, it's really recommended that you use 1 to 2 hashtags on posts, and those might be like a branded hashtag, the hashtag like Cedar Rapids Farmers Market, or something that goes within a certain event or has like a branding element to it. It's not as much used for discovery in the same way that Instagram hashtags are. But yes, especially on Instagram, hashtags really increase your engagement.
Wendy has 2 questions. One is on whether we'll do a webinar on algorithms, which I think is a great idea.
Sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. And also wants to know, when's the best time of day and day of the week to post? Are people scrolling through when they're eating, or mostly at night before bed?
Great question. So the best time of day to post depends on your particular audience, and you can actually find that out in the Insights tool. So if you go into, you're accessing Insights in the same way that I showed you on Instagram, for example, you will then go to, instead of going to the content, which is like where we showed those top posts, you'll instead go to your audience, and then you will see your most active times, and you can change over by day of the week and hours per day. So if I'm looking at my own personal page, for example, I'm seeing that my people are most active on Instagram between 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. But that's not necessarily going to be the same for your people. But based off of that information, I may plan that I'm going to put a new post out every day at noon. If you see that your people are most active at 9 a.m., you may make 9 a.m. your posting time. Same thing on Facebook. You can go into the audience insights, and you will see by day of the week when your folks are online. And I would time your posting times with those times the people are most online. This is kind of just a very general thing about the algorithm. If we're going to do more on that, I won't go into this too much. But basically, the way that the algorithm works in general is that Instagram and Facebook look at how people respond to your post when you first push it out. So for example, in the first half an hour, if people are responding really well to your post, you're getting lots of comments and engagement, then they choose to push that post out to more people who follow you. So that's why posting times are considered important, because you want to post when your people are online. So within those first couple of minutes, they're liking and commenting and sharing, which tells the algorithm that it's a good post.
Okay, well, we're reaching our time here. I might just share a few last things with you. We are recording this and we'll be posting it to YouTube. And if you've registered for the webinar, you'll receive that recording once we close out here. And as well as I'll share the slides in an email to you all as well. So this is, again, a part of a series. So we'll be doing these small bites webinars that's going to focus on a nitty-gritty topic on social media marketing on the 4th Tuesday of every month at noon. So tune in again next month for more social media content. And I also wanted to put a plug in. We just closed out our applications for our Boost social media coaching program. So if you're looking for more intensive one-on-one coaching with either Emily or Josh Dansdale, who's also here from Northeast Iowa RC&D, we did close the applications on Sunday, but if you're interested, shoot me an email. I'm here in the middle, jake@ivrcd.org. And we still have a few spots open. I can send you the link to that application. And that's all for me. Thank you all for joining us today. Again, thank you, Emily, for leading us on Reflecting with Insights. And I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day.